My friends, what we are seeing in these images released by the United States Central Command is not just another ordinary airstrike in the desert. It's the death certificate of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's naval strategy, and today is July 13, 2026. And while the whole world was looking up at the sky expecting the crossing of intercontinental ballistic missiles, Tehran's real nightmare emerged from beneath the waves in the absolute silence of the ocean floor. Autonomous one-way maritime attack drones, a technology that the American armed forces had kept secret and had never used in real combat. Until now. They just invaded the front gate of the Iranian port of Bandar Abbas. The balance of power and the geopolitics of oil in the Middle East have not undergone a routine change in the last 72 hours. They were completely shattered. But wait, think rationally with the military intelligence data. If the United States has the most expensive stealth fighters on the planet and trillion-dollar strategic bombers, why did they decide to put $35,000 disposable boats in charge of the most important incursion of the decade? The answer is frightening. It takes the breath away from traditional logistics and involves an unprecedented level of technological disregard in modern history. To understand the magnitude of this checkmate, we need to go directly behind the scenes into the CENTCOM command room. But before that, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like on the video because it takes a lot of work to make it. Iran firmly believed it was dictating the rules of the maritime chessboard. They signed the Memorandum of Understanding pretending that they would coordinate a peaceful passage through the Strait of Hormuz. But the Iranian definition of international security was pure criminal extortion. The Revolutionary Guard demanded that commercial ships change their routes to Persian territorial waters. If a civilian commander disobeyed, the militia would launch Shahed suicide drones with 50-kilogram warheads directly at the command bridge and engine room of civilian cargo ships, killing crew members in flames and calling this barbarity traffic enforcement. They tried to impose a toll on 20% of all the planet's oil supply. The mullahs who control Iran acted like bosses of an international mafia. But American tolerance evaporated. President Donald Trump took the gloves off and issued a final ultimatum. When questioned by the international press about the Iranian claim of having successfully closed the world's most important waterway, Trump was relentless. He said verbatim into the microphones, "We're going to take control of the strait." And he has nothing. He has nothing. "We're going to attack them with great force. We're going to hold the line and we'll probably win." And right after that, the president officially redefined security in the Persian Gulf with the following words: "We will become the guardians of the strait." Maybe we can call him the guardian angel of the strait and we should be reimbursed for that. "We're going to get paid to protect it," he said. It was the green light the generals needed. On July 12th, Central Command carried out its fourth consecutive wave of attacks against Iranian territory. What the West put in the air and water was a perfect orchestra of annihilation. And the great conductor of aerial destruction was a disposable kamikaze drone called Lucas. Pay attention to how this impact translates. The Lucas drone is developed by the company Spectre Spectworks based in Arizona and costs a mere $35,000 per unit. The secret that embarrasses the Tehran regime is technical. The Lucas was built through precise reverse engineering based on the Iranian drone Shahed 136 itself, the same delta wing design that Russia uses to bomb Ukrainian cities. Santikon made a gesture of absolute contempt for the whole world to see. He took Iran's technological signature of terror, equipped it with smarter AI-driven brains, and launched it back against the Revolutionary Guard. Iran took its old Mosquito fleet to war, that swarm of fast patrol boats they used to harass oil tankers. And in response, the United States turned on the high-voltage bug zapper, and this is where our metaphor for today comes in. The Lucas drone has turned into the electric bug zapper that's incinerating the Iranian Mosquito fleet inside their own ports. While the autonomous boats were sweeping the surface at over 60 kilometers per hour, the air cover was crushing the ground defenses. Fifth-generation stealth jets, the F-35s, led the incursion like invisible ghosts, clearing airspace for the F-18 fighters, and the Predators specialized in radar suppression missions. The F-16 fighters, CJ Wild Weasels. In practice, the operators of Iran's surface-to-air missile batteries signed their own death sentence by turning on their equipment. If an Iranian technician activated the radar to try to detect the attack, the F-16CJ would pick up the frequency of the radar beam and fire an anti-radiation missile that would destroy the station before the enemy alarm could even sound. They were wiped out by their own radio signal. Chinese C-802 missile batteries were pulverized in the yards of Jask and Bushehr. But if you think Iran's desperation was about losing coastal bases, wait until you see what intelligence discovered about Project Lampreya. There is a second layer in this war that happens in total silence, in the dark depths of the sea where artificial intelligence has taken control of life or death decisions. The United States validated a multi-domain targeting chain combat. The hive mind system from SHIELD coordinated it. Fighter sweep, manned fighters with surface drones and underwater drones. Lampreya, which operate in an autonomous network, hunting and destroying Iranian mini-submarines and speedboats without any human interference or any human decision to pull the trigger. The underground caves that Iran built on the coast to hide its weapons have become steel tombs. However, pay close attention to this golden rule and this reality check that intelligence manuals lay out and that I have been studying for almost a decade. What the United States is doing is controlling an international waterway, not directly overthrowing the regime of the Ayatollahs. There is an insurmountable technical limitation in the use of air power. It is not possible to achieve a complete regime change in any nation using only bombs and airplanes. Air Force doesn't change governments, it destroys assets. To remove the mullahs from power in Tehran, it would be strictly necessary to have a large-scale internal armed insurgency or a massive ground infantry invasion. But when the strategic objective is solely and exclusively to control the Strait of Hormuz, ground troops end up being expendable. Not that we've lost hope of seeing the regime fall. It can still happen, as we said, if there is a ground insurgency supported by the United States and Israel. But just to point out that it's very difficult to completely overthrow a regime with just airstrikes. But to leave them completely devastated, yes, that has happened before. You just need to decimate the enemy's monitoring capability. The United States sealed the geopolitical divorce of the year. Iran broke the agreement. CENTCOM has permanently taken on the role of guardian angel of the Strait, escorting more than 800 commercial ships unharmed and ensuring the flow of 400 million barrels of crude oil to the world. And Brazil, I want your full attention to what I'm about to say. What we deliver every day on this channel is a technical, unfiltered dissection of global geopolitics that defends freedom and the fundamental rights of humanity. And the mainstream media omits it out of pure political convenience. Here we have built the largest community of elite analysts in the country, people who refuse to swallow shallow social media narratives. And it's exactly because we maintain this relentless tactical rigor in dealing with the facts that we have just been officially nominated for the Ebeste Award, with great joy and with great honor in the category of political influencer. I'm not here to make a superficial appeal for likes. I'm here to call on our base of analysts to demonstrate our real algorithmic power to the system. We need to prove that cold and surgical analysis commands the digital space. So, I ask for your vote now in this fight. The official link is strategically placed in the description of this video and pinned in the top comment. And you can vote every day until August 24th, which is when we might qualify for the official top 20 Brazil ranking. But today we're in the top 10 and in first place in the voting for the last 5 days. And that's not for just anyone, it's the strength of our community. So I'll be waiting for you there to vote for the Ebeste Award. Now getting back to this. The damage on the Persian coast was devastating, but the world stage always hides suspicious moves behind the scenes. And the question remains, which the Pentagon refuses to answer publicly. Who carried out the mysterious heavy airstrikes in the early hours of July 10th against Iranian territory? CENTCOM states that its previous wave of attacks had already been completed and denies any involvement. No one has claimed responsibility. The Iranian parliament went into institutional panic and openly threatened the United Arab Emirates, accusing their neighbors of providing bases and secretly operating behind the scenes to coordinate the explosions. And in the midst of this missile chaos, Capitol Hill took a major political hit. The experienced Republican Senator Lindsey Graham passed away suddenly at the age of 71. Rest in peace. Graham's background in national security and Western security carried enormous weight. He was a veteran of the United States Air Force and a 5-term senator in Congress. He was the toughest voice in Washington, demanding the crushing of Iranian forces to protect Western war efforts. He was Israel's greatest supporter and friend. Yes, my friends. He was a fighter against Russian terror in Ukraine and Europe. And the frightening detail intelligence picked up is that days before his death, Tehran's state media featured a threatening headline on their front pages with a photo of Donald Trump next to Lindsey Graham and the explicit phrase, "Prepare for sudden death." The shadow of a silent attack froze the halls of Washington. And I'd like your opinion too. From 0 to 10, what is the likelihood that Iran poisoned the senator? Yes, investigations are still being conducted by the FBI. But is it just a coincidence that Iran managed to take the life of the greatest defender of Israel and freedom within the United States? My friends. Meanwhile, in the new era of the Roman War, maritime drones show that the American tactic works on an industrial scale. And then we look at Eastern Europe. Using this very same doctrine of swarms of surface suicide maritime drones, Ukrainian forces have already sunk and disabled no less than 90 Russian military vessels, completely destroying the sovereignty of Vladimir Putin's Black Sea Fleet. But while the world burns and navies sink, the mainstream media throws up a smokescreen to numb civil society. My friends, the geopolitical board has changed permanently and Iran has been dealt checkmate. The scum of mafia generals who extorted the country and controlled the leadership in Tehran saw their operational capacity disappear. President Trump proved that the game has changed. What happens tomorrow if their fast fleet disappears completely? The answer is that the guardian angel of the Strait takes full control of the energy transit. And now I want you, our intellectual front, to take over the comments section right now. Let's break the algorithm. To bring down the system and prove our technical ability to read the military subtext of the situation, start typing now. I want our double verdict stamped with force so we can validate this mission report. Write our 2 tactical passwords for today in the field below. In all caps, Operation Guardian Angel. And right after, the Mosquito Fleet was electrocuted. Take your position in the digital trenches and saturate the platform. Type with authority. Operation Guardian Angel and the Mosquito Fleet was electrocuted. The beacon of geopolitical intelligence does not blink before the theater of the system. My friends, all of this is to further increase the reach of our video. And the lesson from this geopolitical war is the same for your business. Those who don't master visual attention are simply wiped out. And today, the most valuable currency in the world is people's attention. For an entrepreneur, what hurts the most is being the best at what you do and still remaining invisible to the market. You can't break through the bubble. You have an exceptional business, but nobody knows you exist because it seems like only silly dances or memes go viral on social media. But I just proved to you that's not true. That deep and serious content also has its value, and I used to think exactly like that in the past. 15 years ago, starting out in the trenches of radio and television, I understood that the real way to build authority depends on deep content and a solid strategy. That's how we reached 50 million monthly views on our networks, all monetized in dollars. The corporate game now is media. See how Havan stores tripled their sales. The old man from Havana put himself out there and kept opening new stores, posting record profits, even in the midst of the chaos that is Brazil's economy. Look at the case of Unclaimed. A medicine manufacturer tripled its sales because its CEO put himself out there and started talking to people. People connect with people, and your identity can't be outsourced. The owner needs to show his face with professionalism. The era of amateur cell phone videos is over. To earn professional respect and master the algorithm like I did in recent years, reaching 50 million views on my social networks and monetizing all of it in dollars. I created a practical methodology on how to do this, and on August 16th I will hold a fully in-person immersion face-to-face with me, locked in my studio with my team. But I'll be blunt with you, there are only 10 seats. When the 10th spot is filled, the steel door comes down. So click on the QR code that's on your screen or use the secure access link in the description and in the first pinned comment. Don't miss the opportunity to finally break through the bubble. If I can break through the bubble talking about these heavy topics, you can do it too. And don't forget about our exclusive platform that's free from censorship. The link is in the description and in the first pinned comment. There are more than 3,000 members who support the content and fund what we do here. And our series and movies channel with tips on new movies and series so you can just sit back and enjoy with your family on the couch. Don't waste any more time. You spend hours there looking for something cool and in the end it's total crap. No woke culture, no whining. I guarantee you the best tips so you can enjoy with your loved ones. So the link is in the description, in the pinned comment, and in the card that will appear on your screen until the end of the video. Now subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like because it takes work to make these videos. Shield your mind. I'm Shimon Oliveira and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.